Okay, Wildcats. So let's first look at Monday, October 15th. You're going to solve 2 and 3 systems with matrices. Notice there's nothing in your journal because you're going to be working on this assignment on Monday. And it will be due on Tuesday, October 16th. Okay? All right. So the next thing, on Tuesday, October 16th, you'll be working on quiz 3, nothing in the journal, no video. Okay, so now let's start on Wednesday, October 17th. Solve systems of inequalities on page 22. So if you would update your table of contents. All right, now your table of contents are updated. Let's take a look at your notes. All right, solve systems of inequalities on page 22. Steps to graph systems of inequalities. Step 1, put equations in slope-intercept form. When you multiply or divide the inequality by a negative number, the inequality symbol flips. Step 2. Y is less than or y is greater than is a dashed line. Y is less than or equal to or y is greater than or equal to is a solid line. Step 3, shade. Step 4, the solution is the overlapping region. If the regions do not overlap, then there is no solution. If you would, update your notes. All right, now your notes are updated. Let's take a look at the examples. For example 1. Okay, it says guess the solution to each system of inequalities. Now, before we do that, what we need to do is look at these inequalities. So let's look at y greater than 4x minus 4, and let's look at y greater than or equal to negative, and put a 1x minus 3. Now, the reason I wrote them down here is because the number in front of x is slope, and slope is always a fraction, so we're going to divide by 1. Now, to graph this, we start the y-intercept, which is 0, negative 4. And then here we go, rise over 1. So we go up 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right 1. Up 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right 1. Now there's no line underneath, so it's a dashed line. Okay. Now, because it's greater than, now before I do that, I'm going to use highlighters to do this. And you're going to see why in just a few seconds. So if you want to pause to get some highlighters, because it's going to do something cool as we work through the problem, okay? All right. So it's greater than, so we're going to shade above. Okay. Now let's graph here. So again, we start at 0, negative 3. And then this is down 1 to the right 1. So down 1 to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1. Now, if I change the negative from the numerator to the denominator, now I go up 1 to the left 1, up 1 to the left 1, up 1 to the left 1, up to the left 1, up 1 to the left 1. Now, there's a line underneath, so it's a solid line. Now, it's greater than, so we shade above. Now, notice something cool's happening. You can see that the solution changed color. So the solution is the overlapping region where the color changed. Okay. All right, let's take a look at example 2. All right, now the first thing we need to do is we need to look at the first inequality. So I'm going to put 1x plus y greater than 5. We need to solve for y. Okay, so to do that, we're going to subtract 1x from both sides. So we get y greater than negative, or 5 minus 1x. Now, remember, the number in front of x is always slope, and slope is a fraction. The number without x is the y-intercept, so we're going to start with 5. So start at 5, and then this tells us to go down 1 to the right 1. So down 1 to the right 1, 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 down 1 to the right 1. There's no line underneath, so it's a dashed line. Okay, it's greater than, so we shade above. Now we're going to solve this for y. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is subtract x from both sides. So we get negative 1y less than negative 3 minus 1x. Now the next thing we're going to do, divide by negative 1. But when you divide by negative, the inequality flips. So you get y greater than 3x plus 1x. And again, I'm going to divide that by 1. All right, so now to graph this, we start at 3, so 3, and that tells us we go up 1 to the right one. So up 1 to the right one, up 1 to the right one. Or we can go the opposite, down 1 to the left one, 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 down 1 to the left one. There's no line in these, so it's a dashed line. Now again, it's greater than, so we shade above. And once again, you can see something cool happen, that the solution is the overlapping region. All right, so now let's move on to example 3. All right, so again, what we need to do is we need to solve before we graph. So we're going to subtract 2x from both sides, so that's negative 3y less than or equal to negative 6 minus 2x. We're going to divide by negative 3, but that flips inequality. So then negative 6 divided by negative 3 is 2. And then negative 2 divided by negative 3 is a plus 2/3 x. All right, so to graph this, we start at 2. And then we go up 2 to the right 3. So up 2 to the right 1, 1, 2, 3. And we go the opposite direction, down 2 to the left, 1, 2, 3. And it's a solid line. It's greater than, so we shade above. All right, now we look at 4x minus 6y greater than 6. We subtract 4x from both sides, so we get negative 6y greater than 6 minus 4x. And I'm going to steal space from this problem. So then we divide both sides by negative 6. So that makes the inequality y less than 6 divided by negative 6 is negative 1. And then negative 4 divided by negative 6 is a positive 4 6x. Okay. So to graph this, we start at negative 1. Okay, and we go up 1, 2, 3, 4. Start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right there. Or you can reduce this to be 2/3. So we can go up 2, right, 1, 2, 3, up 2 to right, 1, 2, 3. There's no line in these, so it's a dashed line. And since it's less than, you shade below. All right. Now, because these don't overlap, it's no solution. So just underline those two because that's where the solution was. All right, example 4. All right, so x is greater than 5. That means we have a dashed line at 5. Okay. And then since it's greater than, we shade to the right. Okay. Now for this, we start at -4 and we go up 1 to the right 2. Up 1 to the right 2. And then it's a solid line. And then since it's greater than, you shade above. So this area right here, the overlapping region, is the solution. Let me adjust the blurriness going on there. All right. Example 5. All right. So the first thing, now because there's 4, I'm not going to be able to use the colors. We're just going to have to use a pencil. So first off, y is greater than or equal to x. So that's y equals x is just 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. Okay. So it's a solid line. It's greater than, so we shade it above. Now notice I'm going to shade very light. Please make sure you're shading very light. And I'll explain why just as we work through the problem. Now here, I'm going to rewrite that as y less than or equal to 1 over 1x plus 5. So that way I have the fraction. Okay, so I start at 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then technically I'd go up 1 to the right one, but I can also go down 1 to the left one. Down 1 to the left one, because -1 divided by -1 is equivalent to 1 over 1. So that's why I can go down 1 to left one, 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 left one. Okay, again, solid line. Now it's less than, so notice that this area is getting darker. This one's still kind of light. Okay, because that overlapped. Okay, now it says y is less than or equal to 5. So we have a horizontal line at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's less than, so this got darker. This has gotten darker. This has gotten slightly darker. Okay. All right, and then the last one, x is greater than -2, so -1, -2, horizontal line. And so it's greater than, so this got darker, but this got really dark because this is the overlapping region. And then that got slightly dark. Okay, so this is your solution right here. Is right there. All right, last example. And let me sharpen my pencil. Give me like 10 seconds. Sorry about that. All right, so again, since there's 3, we're not going to use highlighter, we're just use pencil. So y is less than x. So that's again 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. It's a solid line. It's less than, so we shade below. Okay. Y is greater than or equal to 0. So that's a horizontal line at 0 and above. Now notice this area got darker. This area is still pretty light. And then I'm going to rewrite this as y less than or equal to negative 1 over 1x plus 2. Okay, so we start at 2. We go down 1 to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1, to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1. And again, if I move the negative from there to here, then I can go up 1 to the left 1, up 1 to the left 1, up 1 to the left 1. It's a solid line. And it's less than, so it's this area right here that overlaps. That gets darker somewhat. That gets darker. This gets darker. But the overlapping region is right there. There's your solution. Okay? So at this point, if you understood the examples, then when you get to class, you'll be in small group. If you had trouble with the examples, then you could be in the teacher station. I can go through these again with you, or you could be watching this video in class. Okay, so with that, have a wonderful Wildcat day.